Batman's golden rule is no killing. However, what he does to his enemies is either almost as bad, if not worse. In this video, I'm going to show Batman's actions and their effects using Arkham Knight. Before I begin, if you enjoy this type of content and want to see more, make sure to like and subscribe. My goal is to hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. The first is just straight up beating the shit out of enemies. I estimated him to be 270 pounds, including his heavy batsuit, which is over heavyweight in the UFC weight class. Not all the enemies are around this weight, so a large weight difference could make the injuries even more serious. Getting into a fight with Batman can lead to multiple concussions, broken ribs, bruised tissue, internal damage, broken limbs, and on the worser side, skull fractures, and then its myriad of symptoms, and especially a knockout, which is how you defeat the enemies, and they are all unconscious according to detective mode. Now, depending on the seriousness of the injury, dependent on multiple factors, it can cause permanent brain damage, changing their behaviors, loss of memory, seizures, and paralysis. The second is the Freeze Blast, which is a grenade that quick freezes enemies. When checking with detective mode, it indicates that they are unconscious when frozen and their BP has considerably dropped. Common issues from being in freezing temperatures include frostbite, which can cause toes and fingers to fall off. It increases the chance of heart attacks, and hypothermia if it's a prolonged exposure, which can be done if you just spam the shit out of it on one person, causing their core temperature to drop, and if it drops below 70 degrees Fahrenheit, you could possibly die, according to livescience.com. The third is a remote electric charge, which is basically a taser that fires an electrical shock towards the enemy. Just like with the Freeze Blast, you can also spam the shit out of it on one person. So the effects of being electrocuted include burns on tissues and organs, and at a high amount, it may require amputation to fix the problem and can still cause internal damage. The shock can also trigger cardiac arrest and damage to the nervous system, with the latter being permanent dependent on the seriousness of the injury. Now, the next two things Batman does should definitely kill a person, and if they survive somehow, would definitely be a crueler punishment than death. The first in this section is the drop attack / gliding kick on an enemy. That is 270 pounds falling at an extremely fast speed, creating a tremendous amount of force. Getting hit by this can lead to broken bones, head injuries, internal bleeding, spinal fractures, etc. Basically, there's a very low chance you're going to be walking after this or even be awake anymore. Now, there is not a lot of data I could get on people getting hit with other people via falling, but based off how people react to just falling off of stuff, this could have an extremely life-changing effect on these people. And I assume the data exists somewhere, I just have not looked hard enough to find it. The second in this section is the Batmobile assisted takedowns. It's an option that pops up if you're close to the car during a fight, but you could also just attack people with it when you're inside or using the remote control. Now understand, this is not a car, but a tank, and has the power to blow up other tanks used by the militia. And what you could do is use the rounds used to blow up militia tanks and just hit soldiers with them at close range. According to the Geophysical Institute of Alaska, a tank's projectiles are driven at velocities in excess of 4,000 feet per second or 2,727.273 miles per hour. I assume this would just erase you off the planet if you were hit with it at close range, but considering how they're unconscious somehow, they're never gonna wake up from this again. they will probably be in a coma for the rest of their lives. Again, I could not find large amounts of data on people getting hit by tank rounds at close range, though this does not mean it does not exist in some capacity, but I'm also not going to test this out because it's pretty obvious the outcome in a logical sense. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe.